What's up, everybody? It's Kalen Moss, Theory and Thacker here with the Minute Admin, and we are still just going over AMPscript, and we're going to pull out some Chat GPT today again, and we're just going to figure out some of this AMPscript stuff. We're going to still study it, but we're also going to see what AI Chat GPT can actually do. So if you haven't seen any of the videos, go back, check through the playlist that we have already put together in this. It's the Marketing Cloud Developer playlist, and we're studying for the Marketing Cloud Developer cert. This is our journey, and we're just going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to press play on this video by Cameron Robert. And Therian, based on what we talked about yesterday, I think the past 2 days we've gotten a really good understanding of data.
Right.
We broke down exactly what everything means inside of, like an if statement, for loop, concatenate.
Yep. The inner button,
output line.
All right.
So let's go back and see what he's doing. And while he's doing it, let's see if we can decipher it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Hi there, my name is Cam, and welcome to another Salesforce Marketing Cloud Functions in 5 minutes. Today, I'll be doing a quick introduction to the process loop in AMPscript. So at the time of recording, Salesforce Marketing Cloud does not have a dedicated documentation page for process loops, and this awesome function is relegated to the subheading of an AMPscript language elements documentation page.
Real quick there. Using the for loop process. So let's just read what that says. Can you see that?
Yep, I can. So, I mean, that's really the best breakdown ever. So the for statement allows content within the for block to iterate over a variable a number of times, right?
Yep.
So that's what we've been doing and setting as a counter, depending on how long we want it to go.
Yep.
Yep.
And then we have the code block underneath it. And then it gives us these. Okay, so it says for the variable you're setting, it's equal to starting the for loop expression to, or it says down to.
Down to is a new one.
Down to, what is?
I'm checking it out. I mean, I get the concept, but I want to know the meaning.
Let's see. We got this tab right here. What is the difference between down to and to? Are there differences between X down to and Y to? Where should we use X down to? Same question as Y to. Okay. This is where you can tell that it was invented by a government committee. If Vhdl was designed to be consistent, then what you're referring to as to would be called up to, as in the opposite of down to. In this answer, I will refer to up to. Just understand that I'm using this term for clarity. It still isn't an official Vhdl keyword. Vectors or arrays can have a range that is descending or ascending. For example, gotcha. So we can say 7 down to 0 or 0 to 7.
Yep.
This is strictly a numbering convention and has little to do with the resulting logic efficiency. Mostly the correct one to use depends on what makes the most sense to the writer of the code. That being said, we never use up to unless you have to. What follows is my personal opinion, but based on 20 years of writing VHDL professionally and 30 years of writing software, mixing down to and up to in the same code is always problematic.
I bet it is. I bet it is.
It can be done, but it requires careful planning and notation to get right. Even then, the code ends up to be difficult to read and modify later. It's very easy to confuse which signals are down to and up to. Okay, so we got our answer.
Yes.
So I'm gonna put that in the chat as far as what I wrote, because that was a good response. So we end the expression and do something. So what I'm seeing now is the wrapped script or the
Yeah.
email content you want to put if in that for loop.
Right.
The system, and then next variable to tell it
So
which one.
next at variable. So start
Gotcha.
expression down to the end of expression. Do this wrap script or email content, and then next variable.
So the variable, we always use I, right? So
We typically have been using I. Yep.
you could say variable Therian at for at Therian,
Mm-hmm.
and then down here it'll say next at Therian.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. And then the system locks the variable at variable from modification within the process loop. The start and so that basically means that once that variable is set, it's locked in. It can't change, can't be
Right.
modified. So the start and end index expressions can use any one of the 4 types of input that evaluates to an integer: a numeric constant, an attribute or data extension value, a variable, a function
call. Hey, Josh, what's going on, man?
What's up, bro? What's up? What's up? Good morning. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then
Salesforce Saturday
nice.
Meetup. Very cool, man. Where at?
Yeah, where's it at, and what is a Salesforce Saturday Meetup?
Yeah.
I've always heard of it, but I've never been.
Yeah, there's no such thing here.
Yeah,
there's no Salesforce meetups where I am. Fort Lauderdale. Okay, cool.
Oh shoot, you're seeing it faster than I am. Oh yeah, here we go. Fort Lauderdale, nice. So I went to a Salesforce user group meetup, but I've never been to a Salesforce Saturday meetup. Maybe it's the same thing. Maybe it's, it's all meetup, right?
Right.
I've heard of Salesforce Saturdays. Have you heard of Salesforce Saturdays, right?
I haven't.
I thought there was something like an official thing called a Salesforce Saturday.
There could be.
I that's what I've heard. I don't know. But then I've heard, obviously, you hear Salesforce Meetup, then you hear
Talent Stacker's got their whole meetup system for all the key areas. Salesforce has their meetup. Trailhead has their meetups.
Yep.
There's always something going on.
Always
something going on. I think I do have one meetup here in Maine, but it happens like once every 6 months, an hour away.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Just got to start flying out, man, every month.
I'm going to have to. Yep. I'm going to have to.
Nice. It's a network and learn event. Cool, man. That's what I love about the ecosystem. There's so much and everybody I feel like that was there at the Salesforce meetup was so nice and authentic, genuine people that were just they're spending their Wednesday night going and meeting other people just to know the community. That's a different type of person, man.
It is.
Really is.
I went and met Lori Tibbetts and her son Patrick, and it was a great time. It was just the 3 of us in a coffee shop, just talking Salesforce for 3 hours.
Yeah. It was unlike anything I had ever seen or been to.
Yep.
I loved it.
Everybody's so friendly in the community.
So friendly. And you just have to put yourself out there. You just have to go out there and you got to be the one to introduce yourself to people. If you start introducing yourself, that's the one thing I learned is once I started introducing myself and walking up to groups of people and being like, hey, what's up? How's it going?
Right.
I feel like people started coming up to me.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with everybody listening. The overarching perspective that I have of the community is it's a safe area. No matter if you're brand new, no matter what's going on, if you're just starting to research it, everybody's just open to give information and are super friendly and welcoming.
So friendly, man.
Yep.
I love it.
It's a good community for sure.
It is. I honestly can see now why the community has grown this industry so big because the people at the event really believe in Salesforce,
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just awesome, refreshing to see. So
for sure.
You can talk to people that are like that get what you're saying. That's the coolest part, you
Yep.
know.
Yep, they absolutely know.
Everybody else we talk to about is like, yeah, what is it? Like, so to actually be around.
Oh, how many times I'm asked what I do is
Yeah.
hilarious. I'm like, I just don't worry about it. Just don't even worry. Don't worry about.
Yeah, I know. They're like, what's a CRM?
It's a rabbit hole. I can't even begin to tell you.
But it's like once you're in it, it's like it makes so much sense.
Yeah,
You know?
it does.
Crazy. But man, we're already learning so much more about process loops. So down to we learned today. That's a new one. You learn and see one thing. I'm just not going to do this, but that's why I love that we're documenting this through video. Is one thing I love to see is like when one thing I don't track, but I would love to track, which we are, is those little small epiphanies that you learn throughout a day that you know how whenever you meet somebody and they tell you something new and you're like, oh, you learn something new every day. You know how you say that? That's a good saying.
Right.
How many times do you learn something new in a day, but you don't even think about it?
Yep.
You know, you have an aha moment, but you're like, you have an aha moment. It's an epiphany and you gather something new, but you don't really you don't say you learn something new every day. So you don't really think about it.
Right.
And it's like, how many of those can we be grateful for on a daily basis that we've learned? And this is like one of those things.
It is. It is.
Just the down to, you know?
Right.
Just understanding, learning what the down to, learning a little bit more about the for loop.
Just deeper and deeper.
Deeper and deeper into it.
They're just adding more and more words for us.
Yeah. Like how many like you learn something new every day do we have just in this one sentence we've read right here?
Right.
So that's why I'm really just so happy we're recording all these, because we get, if we want to, we could binge watch these and come back and watch them, you know?
For sure. Yeah, for ourselves.
2x speed though. I can't be
2x speed. Listen to you. Well, at least you don't have commercials anymore. So
right. Exactly. So much better now.
It's a life changer, man. I'm telling you.
I will say within the past like 3 or 4 weeks, that has been the number one of the most like consistent things I've been grateful for is
no commercials. You're like
no commercials. You're watching something, you're trying to show something to somebody. And like,
right.
You know?
It's nice. I know. I got mom on it too. She doesn't even know what it's like to have a commercial.
And does it come with YouTube TV?
It does.
I canceled my YouTube TV subscription.
Yep. I believe
was going to cancel it anyways.
Yeah.
And boom, YouTube Premium just took care of it. I was like, wait, I still get it? It was like, oh yeah, your plan expires like March like 16th or something.
Yeah.
And it was like, and then I looked at it and it was like premium across the board of the YouTube TV.
Man, I've been using it since inception. As soon as they allowed me to have that, I was like, oh, yes, please. Yes, please.
Oh, they knew what they were doing, man. They knew what they were doing.
It's so funny when I'm at somebody's house and I see a commercial, I'm like, what? A commercial? Like, it's so weird to me now, right?
It really is. It really is.
But the one thing that hasn't changed is marketing is still silly. They're still out there just making the best ads ever.
They are
the best ads.
Anything they can do to keep up with the times.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Oh man, that's fun.
So what do we got next? A set statement.
So I'm just finishing this last paragraph. The two or down two keywords determine whether the value of the variable increases or decreases by 1. Oh, it was right there. So
with each iteration of the for loop, the variable value sets or increments by 1 at the end each iteration of the loop. The system compares and the index expression to the new value of the counter variable. If the value did not reach the end value or did not equal the end value, the loop will continue. Then we hit the next statement, which closes the for loop. Optionally follow the statement with the variable name controlling the loop.
Okay, let's get it.
Yeah.
Do it. Let's see.
So to help explain this function better, let's make things a bit more colorful and step through an example piece of code together.
Color always helps.
Yeah.
So let's have a read. The for process loop in AMPscript has 4 keywords: for, to, do, and next. And it reads something like this. For something being equal to a value until that something equals this limit value, do some stuff, and then return to the start, incrementing by 1. Okay, so let's fill in some of the blanks. Most for loops use the variable I and will start at 1. And trust me, you'll see this a lot online. So let's start by filling the first section with @I equals 1.
Okay.
So now that we've set the I variable to be equal to 1, let's pretend we want to use this loop to run 10 times. So in the limit value, we can put the value of 10. So the loop will start at 1 and keep going until it reaches 10, doing whatever we put in between the do and next keywords 10 times. So let's give our process loop something to do 10 times. Let's use the output line function to output the phrase "this is a loop" 10 times. Our AMPscript code will look something like this. We can press publish to see the output. And there we go. The phrase has been printed 10 times over. Now let's go back into our function and alter the output slightly.
So quick
Let's
question.
add the variable I.
Yes.
He put concatenate, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's he concatenating?
I'm pretty sure he's just concatenating that loop, right? To drop it down from line to line. Is that what it is?
He's concatenating that.
The strings together. So you can concatenate as many values as you need together. A good use case would be to combine an AMPscript variable with a hard-coded string.
So that's why I'm surprised is because I remember seeing that and they were combining the variable to a string. Is it because he's combining the words "this is a loop" with this line break?
Yeah, so ordinal 1 will be required to be true, and that'll be the first string to concatenate. And then the second part of the ordinal, it'd be the second string to concatenate.
But
So
see, there's no 2 strings though.
It's yeah, you're right. There's not 2 strings. There's a break line, which is interesting. So I'm not sure the second ordinal is even needed. So if you look at it as a statement in the AMPscript guide, it's just concat 1, n, right? 1 being the first string to concatenate. So since we don't have a second string, we're only bringing this back.
Let's try this.
Yep.
So let's say we write the exact same code, but we don't include concatenate.
Okay.
Because I'm really curious. What is concatenate doing?
We're about to see.
Some HTML. And we say, do the code block. We say for @Therian equals 1, 2, 10, do.
Yep.
And it says output line.
Mm-hmm.
If I just do this is a loop and then a line break.
Yep. And then we need to close it up.
So that's how he has it. And then he said next.
Yep.
At
Therian. Because that's the end. That's where we're closing it up.
So we're saying for this variable that we're calling Therian.
Yep.
Is going to do something 10 times.
Yes.
It's going to go through a loop 10 times. And then what it's going to do 10 times is it's going to output this line called this is destiny arising.
Look at you.
And we're going to say next We're going to say next at Therian, because what it's going to do is it's going to say, it's going to output that on number 1.
Yep.
And it's going to go to the next Therian, which is going to be number 2.
Right. To 10.
To 10. And all the way to 10. It's going to do it 10 times. So let's see what happens.
It's thinking.
Thinking.
It's thinking. It's.
I think my computer's just going slow. I think my internet's going real slow today.
Yeah, I see a white screen still.
Let's see. What do I need? Do I need to close down some stuff? Let's see. I have everything closed out. Well, hold on. All right, we're going to get that out of here. Okay, I'm going to have to force quit that. Let's see.
Okay. Oh, we done broke it.
We done broke it. Let's see. Wait, I think I might just need a nice little refresh. Copy. Refresh. Go into the... Okay, let's see. Boom, boom. Schedule publish. Come on. Give me something.
I wonder if it's since we haven't told it to concatenate those strings together, it's not giving us an out. No problems detected.
None.
Function used output line. Interesting.
And then over here, what is this thing doing? Schedule, publish, preview. Is it not outputting anything? I don't know if it's outputting anything.
I don't think it's outputting anything. Now put concatenate in. Let's see what happens.
Let's see. So we put.
So we get an extra bracket in there, right? There we go. Unmatched. We need one more. There we go. Okay. I think that's the one that's our pushing function here. Let's see. Yep, there it is.
So what is concatenate doing to that?
This function concatenates one or more strings.
So let's see this. Let's see what would happen if we did. What would happen if we did this? Let's backtrack this. So
it's our pusher.
Let's say we delete this BR.
Oh, then it's just gonna put it in a big long sentence, I bet.
Let's see.
It should be 10 of them back to back. There we go.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's concatenating the line break with the words. Because what if we just did this? What if we just did output line? What if we did that? Would that work? Nope. We can't say output line and then just put a text string in there. We have to put. We can't put output line. That's interesting. Output line. Output line returns the value of AMPscript code, such as concatenate or V. Oh, so output line is like. So then I wonder why. Oh, what if we don't put output line?
Yeah, remove output line. Let's see what it does.
Let's do like I've got like where are we at? Where is this AMP script? Okay, let's try this. So let's copy this. Let's like make 4 different versions of this. Okay, so let's say okay, so let's do this. Let's say we have one version. We have the second version, which has no line break. We have the third version, which has no concat function.
Okay.
And we have the fourth version, which has no output
line function. Yeah.
And then we have the fifth version that has no output line, but it does have so it has the concat, but it doesn't have the line break. Let's see. Let's see.
Here we go.
I'm gonna share my screen a different way.
But this is what makes it fun.
I know, right? This is like a little game.
It is. We're trying to break it.
Yeah. We're trying to see. You know what it is? Is like we're finding new ways to read, I feel like.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we have.
It's a weird sort of grammar.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's like playing around in a language, just talking the language. So we have this one, which is saying output line concat. So let's see what result this gets us. So the first one, let's see. Let's see if it works. Let's first see if it works, and then let's try to break down why it works and why it doesn't work. Okay. So
output line, right? Let's see here. I want to get all my ducks in order.
we're copying and pasting the second one.
Okay.
The output is repeated on the same line. The output is repeated lines because
The definition of output line is very very interesting comparative to just output function.
yeah.
So I think that's why it has to work hand in hand with concatenating the way that it does. Because it allows the insertion of a line feed character after the result, aka the break line. So this function is convenient when there is a requirement to output multiple functions results from a code block, as each result will be displayed on a separate line, whereas the multiple output functions in a single code.
Yeah. It's so what do you get from that? What do you get from that?
What am I getting from that is just the fact that we need that to create those separate lines. So when we take that away, we're definitely going to lose that.
Oh, the line break?
No, output line. Output line's actual function is similar to output function.
Uh-huh.
But the function is convenient when there is a requirement to output multiple function results from a code block. And it inserts a line feed character after the result. What was our line feed character after the result? The BR, right? Our break line?
Uh-huh.
So that gives us the ability to put in that break line and create those separate lines. It's just a more convenient way to do it, is really the definition of output line.
Okay. Okay, here's what we have.
Yep.
We have the haves and the have-nots of this.
Yeah.
So we have these are the only two that worked right here. So the only two that worked are for @Therian 1 to 10 do output line concatenate.
Yep.
And it's outputting this concatenate because the output line has to have like a V lookup or a concatenate to work.
It doesn't even give me that much, honestly.
Which one are you looking at? Because look at this website.
I'm looking at the AMPscript guide.
This one?
No, the other AMPscript guide. The ugly one.
I ain't even worried about that one.
The ugly one. But truthfully, what it is telling us is the output line is there to work with the break line, for sure.
Yes, it's down here.
Yep. So our CRLF right there is a part of that. So output line is similar to output function, but it inserts a line feed character after the result. So that allows us to use that line feed character at the end of that result. So it's just a more convenient way to do break lines. And I guess when you're doing multiple functions out of the same code block, it's extremely useful as well and more convenient.
So this is where I'm a little confused on it is like, so let's say we put the output line and we say, let's say we do output line right here. Let's say this one, it says output line where it says this is destiny arising with the line break.
Right.
So we would think this would do the CLRF. What is it? CRLF? The
right.
any button.
Right.
But see, it doesn't even. I guess it can't do the enter on its own.
It can't. Yeah.
So
we've given it everything but the command to break those lines, basically. So returns a result of AMPscript code executed within a code block, such as concat or v, and includes the results inside the rendered content. The function also appends a CRLF following the results. So that's our break. That's our BR, right?
No. That's the CR. That's the line break.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
But this BR right here isn't doing that.
But it's a part of that function, though. It's needed in there for output line.
Oh, is it?
I'm telling you, it is. Yeah.
Because look, this one isn't here.
So what are we defining as a line feed character? That's what we need to think about. What's the definition of a line feed character in AMPscript?
I think it's like this. I think the line break. Here, let's do. Why include line break into output line AMPscript right there. Because I'm trying to figure out why would we include a
okay, so using the output and output line keywords. Use the keywords output line return the results of code executed inside a code block and includes the results in the rendered content. The output line keyword also appends a carriage return in line feed CRLF to the end of the resolved content. So output and output line works with the results of a nested function or script block, and they don't support the passing of direct literals.
I have no idea what that means.
I don't know what the passing of a direct literal is. I'm going to have to look that up. I'm not even going to lie.
So here's what I think. Here's my theory. I think the output line is doing the CRLF, right? The CR is carriage return. It brings it back to the very first space in the line sentence. The line feed breaks it moves it down one line.
Yeah.
I think the line break is coming in there to do something. I think it's coming in there to break the lines. But I think that the output line does the CRLF portion of the function,
Yeah.
and it moves it back to the appropriate place in the second line. So I think they play two different parts because I'm not seeing anything on the documentation about it being a.
Okay, so again, the code passing of direct literals. System prints example as the substring function shown returns the first 6 characters in this text starting, okay, using comments. So that's my first mention of literals. I don't know, man.
Because there's nothing in the documentation about a line break being there.
But what I'm saying is a line feed character is what they're mentioning in the documentation. It inserts a line feed character. So what are we defining as line feed character?
It moves it down one line is what it's saying. A line feed, it moves the cursor.
Yeah, but how did we tell it to do that?
Without output line is automatically telling it, move it back to the first space. Like,
okay, gotcha.
Basically, like carriage return would be like my cursor is blinking right here, but CR carriage return would move it to the first space right here.
Yeah.
And then the line feed would move it down one line right here.
Gotcha.
And so what I think is happening with output line is it's saying, go back to the first space and go down one. But the line break, this BR, the BR that's in here, it's saying break every time it happens, break.
Right.
Press, I think so the output line function is similar to output with the addition of a carriage return line feed at the end of the output. It used with other AMPscript functions like the V function, where it returns the results of an AMPscript code, but within a code block. Must use an AMPscript function within the output function. You must use an AMPscript function within the output function, such as
concat
function.
Okay.
Here's an example of using both the output function and output line function. Variable output, set your output to be hello. Output line, you have to concatenate the output with the word there, which is hello there. And then output, you say concatenate at output and there.
Yeah.
Output, hello there.
With a carriage return. Okay.
Which just goes back to the front of the line.
Yeah.
In this example, we have one AMPscript code block and can output the variable output without having to close the AMPscript block. An example using a standalone V function, the AMPscript block must be used or closed.
Yep.
Note, you can replace the V function with any other AMPscript function. A few more examples below. A few more examples using the output function and the expected output.
So instead of concat, they used add.
Or
set output equals 1, output add at output 1.
Gotcha. Add 1 plus 1. Because the
that's
comma acts like the plus sign here in this one.
So I guess I'm also looking for why is it more convenient to use output line than it is just output.
Right. Hey, enjoy it, Josh.
Yep.
Let us know. Tag us on LinkedIn. Hey, we got to get you making a post on it. We got to make a blog post.
For sure.
Make a blog post, talk about your experience, document it. Enjoy it, man. We'll talk with you later. Using the concat function, we can output hello there.
Output. Yep.
I mean,
They gave us a whole bunch of output examples, but only one output line example.
Right. Right.
They're like, we're not going to talk about that output
No,
line
no,
part.
we didn't talk
No, we gave you one. That's it. That's it.
Oh my gosh.
They gave us a whole one example. Oh, I love it.
Dude.
Just thugs. Just absolute thugs.
Oh man.
Oh, that's
Output
great.
line. Wait,
Output
I'm sure we
line.
can find. I'm sure AMPscript is made out of something else, right? Output line. SQL. What is that saying? I'm sure there's a lot of stuff.
This might be one of the functions that AMPscript does alone. What do we got in here? Boy, that section terrifies me. It makes me think about Active Directory the way that's set up. Microsoft Active Directory. Yeah. All those little folders to go through.
On the left? Did they look
nested deeply, just so deep. You're like, where is that folder?
Hey, at least you got folders, bro.
Oh.
A lot of stuff we don't even have folders that clean. At least they were all in one place with little tiny
You're right.
symbols.
Okay. Creator replaces package function. Nah.
Output line. What is output line code function? Okay, so we have AMPscript. I want to learn more about the concept of output line. All right. Okay. I think we're just trying to get really nitty gritty into what output. Wait, AMPscript functions output line and output usable, only usable with inner function
concat v.
and v.
Yep.
So we have to use
We have to.
and
Yeah.
v.
It's a part of the recipe that we have to do.
Output 1 with a line break.
Mm-hmm.
Output line 2 with a line break.
Right.
Output concat 3 with a line break. Output line concat 4 with a line break. Output V5 with a line break. Output line V6 with a line break. So what it's going to output is it's going to only show this is what it's saying.
That's it.
Because these don't have a concat or a V in the inside.
Nope. They won't give us what we need.
1 or 2 are not printed because of no concat or V function. It does not matter if you use the parentheses
or
the single parentheses. The output is always the same.
I don't know how to print a text. Is it supposed to work that way? Does there a reason why?
Why do I have to use concat inside output? Okay. It's supposed to 1 and 2. Change the object or wrap it in some kind of way.
Yeah. So
This function will only return a result.
I still think that this should work different. Therefore, I would call it a bug. Oh. And he said, quote from Adam Spriggs and Elliot Harper's AMPscript guide. Okay.
Oh, he split a quote. Note, this function will only return a result from nested functions. It will not return a result if only a variable is used.
Variable is used in argument. So concat is just a part of it.
Gotcha.
All the time.
Function will only work with a nested function. And then, as you mentioned, the purpose is really just to push variables or other code blocks into content on the email or web page.
Okay.
The purpose is really just to push variables or other code blocks into content. This is not designed to work like write in JavaScript, which works with raw strings as well. The general use cases are for pushing out variable declarations while preventing the need to break code blocks to push content into the email. For instance, set that variable to look up something and output concatenate my variable equals with my variable, or set my variable output v my variable. Okay. I generally use output and output line for debugging to remove unnecessary breaks in the script tags, and it makes it easier to search and remove them when finished. So for example, set my variable to go look up that function, to be that function, output the variable for that my variable.
Yep.
Set my variable to stuff, and then output concatenate line break. So we're doing an output first right here of my variable, showing that variable, then output another output concatenating a line break with the variable and stuff. Instead of saying this, set my variable to go look that up with a code block.
Right.
Paragraph, go look up my variable.
Yep.
Another variable stuff, and then paragraph. Gotcha. So he's saying.
So I guess I can see why it's more convenient now.
Yeah.
You're cutting down on a lot of lines.
Yeah, you are.
Yep.
So where you have to set, because you're still setting two variables.
Right.
Right here. But you're able to output it immediately right there.
Right.
You don't have to break the line.
Exactly.
You don't have to close the code block.
Yep. You can just keep it in one block.
Gotcha.
So I guess that makes more sense going back to why it's more convenient to use it in a code block that has more than one set of returns like this.
Yeah.
Because look at how messy it would get if you weren't using just that one function to return what you need.
Right.
Yep.
So what I'm seeing is like you have right here. So the ones that work is like we're running the for loop, and then we're saying immediately output it right there inside the code block.
Yep.
And just run it. Just put it out. We don't need to break the code block and do a V, any of this.
Right. Variable setup down at the bottom.
Right. None of that. At Therian.
Right. We don't need to do a lookup function. We don't need to do any of the other stuff. It's all just right there in that snippet.
Okay.
For our return.
So we always have to use a V or a concat. So it returns the results of an AMPscript code executed within a code block. So this is our code block right here. Our code block is this. That's our code block right there. Or no, code block is the whole thing.
The whole thing. Yep, that's our block.
Code block is that. So it returns the results of the AMPscript code executed in the code block. Okay. Such as concat or V, and includes the results inside the rendered content. Gotcha. So you can output V, you can output line V, you can output concat V, you can output concat line V. You can output V, you can output concat, you can output line concat, and you can output line V. So output and output line are the same thing, essentially.
And then direct literals are actually just the variables that we've named.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also want to note that just because something doesn't work the way you feel does not make it a bug. Documentation explicit says it does not work like that. People use the word bug too often in development to cover ignorance or user error.
Wow, just dropping knowledge fists on this guy.
Which can severely slow down production and efficiency as it forces developer resources to investigate red herrings instead of improving or maintaining it.
Well, I guess that's a great way to wrap up the session. This guy just throwing shade.
Hey, look, he's the flamethrower, Gortonington, bro.
Wow, there he is.
Look, this guy's a big time developer. We might have to have him on the call.
He's had enough. He's had enough.
Hey, he's got the whole site, bro. This guy's legit. This man ain't talking about anything other than developer.
Yep. JavaScript array methods, JSON and the Argonauts, which I love that naming convention from a movie I grew up on as a kid.
He's got the resources.
Yep.
Boom. How to SFMC. Hey. All
right, man. I say that's a good Saturday session.
That is.
Yep. 50 minutes.
Yes, sir. Good one. All right. So for anyone who wants to know about these live streams, just turn on post notifications, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you like this video so that we can get more reach to other people. Share it with other people. So if it was helpful for you, just share it. And that's all we got for today.
That's all we got.
Go back through. You can see our journey for Marketing Cloud Developer. And that's all we got for you today. We'll probably make a post on LinkedIn.
Yep.
Interact with that if you enjoyed it. But that's it.
And Minute Admin out.
Minute Admin out. See you later.
Later.